Tonight, Spencer Gulf communities rally to support those from fire-ravaged areas, while our own volunteers pitch in, helping to fight the blazes themselves.
With the latest from around the region, your nightly news with Louise Hedger begins now.
Good evening. More than 23 lives have been lost and 2,000 homes destroyed as unprecedented bushfires continue to rage across the nation. Communities on the Spencer Gulf are pitching in to do what they can to help, setting up fundraisers and appeals for those devastated by the fires. Nathan Rector begins our coverage.
Authorities are labelling this one of Australia's worst bushfire seasons. Hundreds of communities have been left devastated, thousands are displaced, with warnings that the threat is far from over. The disaster has made global headlines, with those affected receiving international support. Here in the Spencer Gulf, many communities and locals are doing what they can to help those in fire-ravaged areas.
Everyone's been touched by the enormity of the fires and the devastation, and so many people losing their homes and everything.
More than 2,000 homes has been destroyed since fires first broke out in New South Wales last year. Since then, an estimated 10 million hectares across the nation has been burnt. Businesses in Port Lincoln chipping in what they can. Unity Op Shop donating last week's earnings for bushfire appeals.
We've had an amazing response and we've taken $4,461. And the committee are going to make that up to $5,000. On top of that, we've also donated $1,000.
As fire erupted in Kangaroo Island, cruise ships were diverted to other cities, a hard blow for the tourism industry. The Golden Princess, carrying 4,000 passengers, sought refuge in Port Lincoln.
Straight across Bass Strait, heading for Kangaroo Island, and when we got near it, they said that they weren't going to stop there because of the fires.
It was obviously a bonus for us, but I must say we are also very mindful of Kangaroo Island and feel for what's happening over there.
One passenger on board had just escaped the New South Wales inferno after flames came terrifyingly close to his property at Diamond Beach.
We had helicopters water bombing behind to stop the fire spreading to our house.
Peter and his family left with just the clothes on their back after flames broke containment lines.
When you saw that big wall of fire, you thought, no, it's time to go. Get out of here, I don't care about the house. I just want to get away with my own life, and that was it.
Luckily, his house was spared. He says it's thanks to the brave firefighters.
Not enough thanks can go to them for their hard work. They just work tirelessly to actually control these fires, and I don't know how they do it.
So far, 23 lives have been lost and more than 1 billion animals have been killed. Heartbreaking images have come out of Kangaroo Island as hundreds of distraught and singed koalas are rescued. Port Lincoln's former mayor trying to kickstart a bushfire appeal for our island neighbours by getting the public to recycle bottles and cans and donate the money.
It's just a case of little people incognito saying, I don't want the money, can I stick it in the KI appeal?
Tonight, Kangaroo Island is once again holding its breath with more warm weather and gusty winds expected over the coming days. Coffin Bay's renowned Oyster Bar 1802 is also set to host a bushfire fundraiser for the island this Friday. For more information, visit their website. Nathan Rector, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Local SES volunteers have been working around the clock to assist authorities at Kangaroo Island who are dealing with the bushfires. A local district officer will be travelling to the island tomorrow and says it's important for our region to support theirs.
Familiar local faces fighting for South Australia. State emergency volunteers are the crucial helping hands assisting authorities on Kangaroo Island.
From 9 different units. From all the way from Port Lincoln up to Roxby, down through Saddleworth, Clare and Waruka.
This Port Pirie officer returning after 5 days on the job. He was one of the SES volunteers assisting with different requirements, including helping devastated residents.
So some of the things that we saw were quite confronting, but we were there to do a job and support the other agencies and support the community that have been impacted by fire.
District Officer Sue Gage will be travelling to assist on the island tomorrow. She says our local volunteers are required around the clock.
Have a brief changeover period, so whilst I'll be over there tomorrow, the current team will be coming back tomorrow, and it will be ongoing until the CFS have completed their task over there.
She's also assisted with a first for South Australia, a housing concept called Humany Huts. The fully air-conditioned construct helps to accommodate hundreds of firefighters and volunteers.
They're a substantial construction, I suppose you'd say. They flat pack, they're container based. It takes, I think, 6 shipping containers to pack up the whole village.
SES officers are encouraging Port Pirie residents to give up their time and volunteer. They say the role is challenging yet rewarding.
Go onto our website and have a look through there, what they might be interested in and SES units within their region.
Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Both New South Wales and South Australian health authorities have issued warnings about the effects of bushfire smoke drifting across the states. They're urging people to seek medical attention if they're having trouble breathing. People with asthma are reminded to follow their action plan. SA Health says some ways to minimise the effects of smoke is staying indoors, closing windows and vents and staying in air-conditioned rooms. Hundreds of dollars has been raised at a boot camp charity event held in Whyalla over the weekend. Many locals turned up to support the fundraiser, which helps bushfire-affected wildlife.
Sweating for a cause, almost 100 locals joining together to support those left with nothing following Australia's devastation.
We just thought with the heartache of what's happening around Australia at the moment, with obviously the devastation of lives lost and homes and all the beautiful animals that we've lost in Australia, we thought this would be a good charity to donate.
And for event organiser Emma Skeldon, it's hit close to home.
My family have a farm in New South Wales, so it's my auntie's farm and my cousins live on the farm. So unfortunately, with the 2 properties that they have on the land, they've lost one property to the fire.
The family here in Whyalla doing what they can to help.
They're feeling heartbroken and they've obviously had to stay in, different types of accommodation and, their whole lives have been put on hold, so it's been a tough time.
As the group exercised their way through the morning, the feeling of heartbreak was a common thread felt by all.
I've had family in all areas, KI, New South Wales, Victoria, that have lost properties and the like and farmland, and it's just heartbreaking. And I thought, why not give back to a charity that I feel strongly about?
It's really hard to get my head around just how affected some of these people are. Whyalla, I think we're pretty lucky here. We've got a little tight-knit community. So doing something like this, it's the least we can do.
Sophia Contagonis, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Still to come tonight, a teenager loses his licence after blowing 5 times over the legal limit, and a bumper vintage season expected for the Clare Valley. Hello again. A P-plater has lost his licence for a year after recording a blood alcohol reading almost 5 times the legal limit at Port Vincent last night. Just after 6 o'clock, a member of the public stopped a vehicle driving with a punctured tyre. Police then arrived and breath tested the 18-year-old, who recorded a reading of .247. He was reported for drink driving and breaching provisional licence conditions and is due to face court at a later date. Returning to our bushfire coverage now, and Port Augusta locals are also among those rallying to help raise money to support the emergency services battling the bushfires. It started as a couple of simple ideas, but now the funds raised total almost $20,000.
Everybody doing their bit to help those in need, hosting or attending fundraisers. The Augusta Cinema packed out last week to help raise money for the South Australian bushfire appeal.
We've got a sellout crowd and thousands of dollars of donations for a raffle prize, which is tremendous. And what's even better is knowing that money is directly going back into the CFS volunteers.
A fundraising bake sale was a huge hit, organisers not anticipating its popularity, but certainly welcoming it.
Oh, overwhelmed. Yeah, it was absolutely crazy. Yeah, no, but it was good. So many people have just come up and donated money.
Customers tucking into the home-cooked goods.
Beautiful. I'd love to know who's cooked it. Very nice.
You couldn't go for a better cause, especially with what's going on at the moment.
Both fundraisers labelled a success, the Augusta Cinema raising almost $12,000, the bake sale reaching just over $5,000.
At the moment, the donations are absolutely essential. It's not so much about the goods, but the monetary donations.
Effort seen within the community and on the front line too. Multiple volunteers from our region sent off to help fight the fires.
We've sent so far almost 90 volunteers over to Kangaroo Island, and before that we had sent just over 200 volunteers from our region to help the efforts in New South Wales.
Laura Milovanovic, 7 Spencer Golf News.
More than 100 backpacks loaded with children's school supplies have been donated to Whyalla Toyota. The dealership now a drop-off station to assist bushfire-affected students with their back-to-school needs.
2 young sisters turned to social media to help bushfire-affected children feel better about returning to school.
So my sister and I were looking on Instagram. We found an account called Backpacks for Bushfires, and we really wanted to help out, but there was only spots to donate in Adelaide. So we thought we wanted to be a drop-off spot here.
When you're looking through social media, everyone's affected by it. It's such a widespread issue now, and we really want to help out any way we can, and this is a way we thought we could really help the people out there that are hurting at the moment.
What started as a simple idea from Adelaide mother Karen Flynn has now become a national initiative promoting education.
Mothers in particular, they're finding it hard to explain to their younger children the effect of bushfires, and this has been a really positive way of them involving their children to do something for other children.
Books, lunchboxes, drink bottles and stationery, all popular items needed for the bags.
Just the essentials to really get them through school, but anything more than that would be great as well.
The girls will be collecting the backpacks here at McLeod Toyota up until the 20th of January, ensuring the children receive their new supplies before the start of the new school term, with many locals and organisations getting on board to help support.
The staff from the reject shop Whyalla yesterday popped in and donated 18 bags, which was fantastic, and they're now offering everyone in Whyalla a discount if they'd like to go in there and purchase some things for a backpack themselves.
Sophia Contagonis, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Recording almost 500,000 visitors last year, Clare Valleys' tourism sector is consistently on the up. Local winemakers say they're eager to showcase the best of the region, with the upcoming vintage fast approaching.
It may be the start of a new year, but tourists are already flocking to taste their favourite Clare Valley drop.
Rosé is still having a bit of an impact. So we've got a rosé as well, so hopefully that kicks on, but it'd be nice if people get involved and start drinking Riesling, which Clare is famous for.
Vintage is fast approaching, and this local winemaker says it will be all hands on deck, ready to create a quality season.
Up to 40 to 50 people at a time hand picking our grapes, so we pick all our top fruit.
Despite dry and hot weather conditions, winemakers at Jim Barry's and Paulette's are anticipating a good vintage ahead, with high hopes for some wet weather to help.
Everything's looking pretty good at this stage. Really happy. We've been looking around yesterday at Riesling, Shiraz and Cabernet, the main 3 varieties that we grow.
This heat continues. The vines will come on a little bit earlier, but hopefully we can get a little bit more rain from the cyclone off of Broome.
Vintage is expected to wrap up by end of March, ready in time for Clare's Gourmet Weekend, an event aiming to showcase the region.
May isn't far away at all, so we've been doing Gourmet Weekend for 30 odd years now.
Also a thought for the Adelaide Hills wineries, devastated by bushfires.
If you have a tough year, you can always reset and go again, but these guys that have had their livelihoods destroyed by the fires, it is devastating.
Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us after the break. Art awards attract some of the best work from across the region, and Broken Hill businesses reap the rewards from the holiday trading period. Welcome back. Artists from across the Eyre Peninsula have converged in Port Lincoln for the annual Arts Prize Awards. It was tough competition as more than 80 artworks of all shapes and sizes were on show, but only one could be crowned the winner.
A flurry of colour, painting, sculptures and installations on show for the annual Port Lincoln Art Prize. Emma Fay from Guildhouse in Adelaide flying over especially to judge the awards.
And I've just been thrilled to see the level of artistic capability and talent and community supporting the arts here in Port Lincoln.
The exhibition showcases the best from the Eyre Peninsula, with more than 80 pieces of work on display from 52 different artists.
As an organisation dedicated to working with contemporary visual arts and crafts practitioners across the state, I really looked forward to the opportunity to get to know new artists that I didn't necessarily know of myself.
From self-portraits to oil canvases, there was something unique around every corner, the high standard of work making it a tough decision for the judges.
But I feel really, really happy with the decisions that were made because I feel like it represents the calibre of the artistic talent here and diversity as well.
The top prize going to Susan Tingay for her artwork of the coastal Mallee at Coffin Bay.
Such an honour to be chosen for the first prize this year. I'm astounded.
The oil canvases showcases the unique trees and shrubs that make up the important ecosystem around the region.
It's a very typical coastal scene really of the environment around here, and that's what inspires me.
All the artwork is for sale. You can take home Susan's piece for $3,500. Entries are still open for the People's Choice Award, which will be presented next month. Nathan Regter, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Port Augusta police have arrested and charged 2 men following a series of thefts at the old power station. Police say it was just after midnight on Saturday when officers were observing the station when they spotted the men returning to their vehicle with large amounts of copper wire.
In the vehicle there was located some various weapons, some illicit drugs, believed to be methamphetamine, and some other stolen goods.
They were bailed to appear in the Port Augusta Magistrates Court in March. A number of Broken Hill businesses in the city's CBD say they've recorded better than average trade over the Christmas period. Their focus is now on the next 3 months and how to keep that spending going.
The lead up to Christmas is a vital time for business owners. Losing sales to online retailers can make the start of the new year tough. To close out the year, stores across the city made a big push to increase local spending, holding Black Friday sales, extending trading hours and offering discounts.
To come together and have a few ideas being thrown around certainly helped us a lot over the end of 2019.
And the ideas worked. Locals flocked to grab a bargain.
Most people did pick up an item, grab something for themselves or a Christmas present, took advantage of what we did, and yeah, walked out with a smile.
People don't necessarily want to shop out of town. I don't think it's something that people think about, but it did change a few mindsets and it made people really think about what they were doing and where they were spending their money.
Local businesses now face some quiet months ahead. The first quarter of the year, a slow time for spending. Shop owners are not admitting defeat though, looking to work together to make sure no more stores close their doors.
We're brainstorming at the moment, trying to see what we can do to encourage people to keep coming down to our district.
An end of summer sales event, one of the suggestions.
We are also looking at doing some things to support St Pat's when that's on in town. We're throwing around the idea of an exclusive shopping night for St Pat's, so stay tuned.
Valentine's Day, for more late night shopping perhaps. Yeah, if anyone's got any ideas of what they'd like to see, we'd like to hear about it.
Patrick Reinke, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Coming up after the break, this week's cricket wrap and the weather with Brit. Hello again. Broken Hill's cricketers took to the field at the weekend after their Christmas break. Plenty of wickets were falling in the Silver City clash between South and North. Patrick Reinke has the wrap-up.
The old saying in cricket is catches win matches. Saturday's South-North rivalry fixture saw some top quality fielding. North batted first and started to build a strong total through Matt Letcher and Brendan Martin. But once they were dismissed, the Bulldogs found it tough to score runs on a hard Alma wicket. South's Sheldon Hall was the best bowler of the bunch, taking 4, including Tom Carruthers and the dangerous Letcher. Jordan Vella tried to steady the ship for the Bulldogs, smashing a quick-fire 20, including a 6. But as he found runs, he watched his teammates fall around him. Wilson caught at cover, Hall bowled by Hebbard and Tidball run out. Chasing 105 for victory, South's openers started strong but were soon back in the sheds. South's fielding in the first innings was matched by North in the second. Austin Wilson taking this catch on the boundary. Later, Nash Mitchell with this to remove Gaglia. Tidball was good with the gloves on, stumping Reeville for 13, South struggling to maintain the run rate. Sheldon Hall was caught by his younger brother thanks to this classic catch. The Roos all out for 72. In the second game, Central did it easy over West. Whipping around the other associations now and starting in Port Pirie, 66 from Reece Fowler saw Proprietary down Southport. In the other game, Wandera beat Solly North by 8 wickets. Over in Port Lincoln and Todd River fell agonisingly short against Lincoln South. Southern Air upset Tasman and Charlton got a win. Finishing off in the northern areas, and there were some cracking games. Harry Reynolds took 6 wickets as Bundaleer removed Boolaroo Walawi for 207. Their run chase didn't go smoothly though. Balali Mananeri smashed Orroroo, Wilmington Melrose also victorious. A special mention must be given to the game between Spalding, Boobarawi and Burra. Zach Fielding made a monstrous 147 during his side's win, a top performance from the opener. We'll be back tomorrow night with a wrap-up of the region's other sports.
Now for a look at what's happening in the weather, here's Britt Aylan.
Thanks Louise and good evening. Warm and sunny conditions across the region today. Port Augusta reached 38 degrees, Port Pirie 36, Whyalla and Broken Hill 35, Port Lincoln 28. And here's what it looked like from the satellite today with clear skies over the Spencer Gulf under a broad region of high pressure. Looking ahead to tomorrow now on the waters, southwesterly winds tending southeasterly at 15 to 20 knots with seas around 1.5 metres. Mostly sunny conditions on the forecast. Port Augusta and Broken Hill both looking at tops of 38 degrees tomorrow. Corn 37, Woodner, Port Pirie and Clare 36, Kadina 34, Whyalla 33, Cleve 30, Port Lincoln and Coffin Bay both 24. Further through the week and it's looking partly cloudy over the eastern and lower Eyre Peninsula. Port Lincoln with maximums sitting in the early 20s, slightly warmer at Cleve and temperatures in the early to mid 30s at Woodner. Whyalla partly cloudy Wednesday and Thursday with sunny conditions on Friday. Port Augusta sunny and 31 on Wednesday, partly cloudy on Thursday, and some gusty winds expected at Kadina on Wednesday, looking at a top of 30 degrees. Fine and partly cloudy about the mid-north on Wednesday and Thursday, maximums a degree or 2 either side of 30. Broken Hill with a possible thunderstorm on Wednesday, 36 degrees, warm and sunny Thursday and Friday. And Louise, before I go, with extreme UV levels predicted for the coming days, a reminder to use sun protection between 9 a.m. and 5:30 in the evening.
Certainly good advice. Thank you for that, Britt. And that's your local news this evening. Thank you for joining us today. We'll be back with your local news tomorrow. Good night.